Welcome back to another TinkerJoe broadcast. This game is going to show how something that we all can identify with and hate at the same time. Sorry, it's kind of greedy. I'm just like looking at my APM. I've been doing just a little spamming, trying to increase my APM. A lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of controversy about this, whether or not like APM is even relevant in a lot of levels of play, and I've gone back and forth. I mean, spamming APM is not going to make you a better player necessarily. You have to at some point in the game utilize this APM. And it just kind of, you know, let's look at the production tab here. It kind of just warms you up for the game. It gets you ready for the fast-paced action. So it's not this wonky bell curve of like actions in the game, and you're falling in and out of being used to doing this. So okay, here's what's happening. Outside of my vision, we got. Let me see if I could actually have seen this. No. So outside my vision, we got a probe coming up here. And we pretty much all know what this means, unfortunately. Let me see if I've seen this yet. I have, oh, okay, so my Overlord has seen this, and I'm checking it out with one drone. So here we go. Pulling 4 drones off the line. I pretty soon make that 5 just to expedite getting this cheesy shit out of my base. Use that drone! So here we got me trying to just eliminate this cheese in my base. Let's go to the production tab here. So I've dropped my spawning pool at 13. This is pretty normal for me. I'm not panicking too much. I feel like that's one of the most important elements of dealing with cheese, is not to like panic. Don't let it throw your entire game off. Don't change your entire game plan. I'm just throwing this drone you can see around just to check out if there's any other pylons going up that I have to be worried about. And this pylon is about to go down. He's throwing down a second gateway, and this other pylon is about to come up. So it's a very tense moment. My hand is so cramped from just playing this game too. So I'm trying to take down these pylons as fast as I can. Let's look at everyone. Why am I doing that? So if we look at the unit count here, I'm ahead on drones. 15 to 12 is a pretty significant lead in this early game. I'm really banking on him just totally losing out on economy here. I'm just throwing these drones around, trying to get these probes. The Zealot was canceled midway because it was depowered, and he just keeps throwing it down. I tell him raffle, because, like, I don't know. I just get so crazy when I get cheese, especially in, like, high diamond league. Like, why would you cheese? I just don't understand. So we got Zerglings coming out. Hopefully we'll be able to deal with this. I am keeping my drones out here. The reason why I'm doing this, you'll see in just a second, is so I can get full surrounds on these Zealots. Don't let them, you know... I'm willing to sacrifice these just to keep this cheese from completely ruining my game here. Another Zealot out. I have the Overlord at the ramp here. And I did that earlier. It's so important to see what's happening at their ramp, and since I didn't see anything, I kind of looked over here and I see this pylon coming up. Oh, and he's throwing down pylons a little bit faster than I can actually deal with, so I'm building these 2 spine crawlers, just kind of going in defensive mode, producing Zerglings, gonna have them run around. I do have this extractor up. I'm trying to get Zergling speed or roaches out, one of the two, so I can just kind of deal with this much better. Taking my Zerglings back. Here we go, trying to get a surround on the Zealot here. And you see I am pulling back my weak Zerglings here. And especially when units are so and I'm kind of mismicroing there. Especially when units are so valuable in this early game. These are so powered up. You really gotta micro your units. Losing a Zergling this early and in this tense of a situation is completely unacceptable, especially when being cheesed. You gotta be so careful. So, 9 Zerglings out on the field, and, let's see what's on the production tab here. Getting my Queen, finally. My Queen was a little delayed, because I just... Oh, that's a lot of Zealots! My Queen was delayed just because I really needed to get Zerglings and these Spine Crawlers out as soon as possible. These Spines could have been a little bit more delayed, as they haven't done really anything. Let's see if he's even seen these. He has. Okay, so he's definitely kind of staying off of me. And I'm moving this creep forward, so I can move these spine crawlers forward. Moving this one back in a defensive posture so he can't get my Roach War in here. Oh, these Zerglings are going down. And finally, I'm producing roaches here, and I can just kite them on this creep. And that's basically my game plan right now. I just need to produce roaches, stay on the creep, kite these zealots, make sure I can just kind of defuse this cheese bomb that's about to go off, because, I mean, he's, let's look at the units tab here. He is caught up in workers here, and I've completely stopped worker production just to deal with this, and, he wisely gets out of there right now because, oh, he's swinging back in. Unwise, indeed. And at this point, I've kind of just dealt with this whole problem. These zealots are just no match for roaches on creep. They can just be kited all day. Get out of there, queen. There we go. And you can just watch these roaches fall, microing that roach back. And these zealots are completely outmatched. And my spine crawlers are poking away at his structures here. We got one pylon left. I don't care. I'm just taking it down. We got a stalker out here. Not going to prove much of a problem. And let's see what's going back on at his base. He has thrown up double gas, and he has a cyber core, so one could only assume he's going Void Rays. So he's he's classically going from cheese and transferring into more cheese after that cheese. So not necessarily a very strong player. If I didn't catch this cheese in time, I would have been so boned. So it's so important to look at the minimap, see your Overlord vision, just keep an eye on the game. It's so easy to just be complicit with the game, and you totally lose your game since you stop scouting, especially when you have an advantage. And this is okay. What do we got coming up here? We got a Spore Crawler coming up because I completely expect Void Rays to be coming into my base at any moment. And it, you know, it could seem like a waste if he weren't going Void Rays. I just feel like nothing else could dig him out of this huge deficit. He's lost all of his unit production buildings here. He is way ahead in the workers here. I'm just trying to deal with this. And my Overlord sees he's throwing a squillion million cannons up. So I will redirect these roaches to his back rocks. Try to do a little bit economic advantage. I don't think he sees this coming. He should have put a pylon here, even though, like, you know, it's been a very micro-intensive game, very tense game. I am expanding. I just want to seal my advantage. I don't want to build a bunch of units and just overextend myself and, you know, get blown out by these Void Rays, which I expect to come, and it's being chrono boosted out as we speak. And this is, I have seen this coming. I should throw down some more Spore Crawlers here. Yes, I am just hatching drones at this point, trying to catch up. Speed 4 Zerglings and Roaches coming up. These Roaches have busted down the back rocks, and this Void Ray is about to come out. Terrible timing. Ugh. So I will just try to kill as many workers as I can. It's especially easy because these roaches can just auto-target these probes when I do 1A, you know, 1A syndrome here. And this Void Ray is going to be a huge problem. I'm kind of trying to manage my base here because I realize I'm not going to get the damage I want to here. Trying to move these roaches around would be such a pain. Oh, and there goes the last roach. What am I doing back at my base? I've prepared more Spore Crawlers at every side of my base because I don't really want to take this into the air game quite yet. I think my strength is really in producing ground units, just killing his probes off. We can see 10 Zerglings on the way here. They have metabolic boost, so hopefully I will be able to just run in here and do some damage. And he is throwing down a pylon a little bit late, because I will be coming back any second now, producing these Zerglings. I do have another queen on the way. I'm just trying to make as many queens as I can so I can have a mobile anti-air unit here. And I'm getting my spine crawlers out of the way so they don't get completely melted or become just a charging block for these Void Rays. Just chasing these around. No real problems. These are very high energy queens. Dropping a transfuse. Another queen coming out. Let's look at the production tab. He is just getting more Void Rays. He's kind of this relentless cheese player. If his cheese doesn't work, he will just cheese you some more. And a party of a bunch of Zerglings going out, trying to do some damage to his economy. And my Roach Horn is susceptible to these Void Rays, just out of range for these. So I'm moving my queens in there to try to defend this Roach Warren. awkward positioning. Hopefully I don't let this queen die. I am trying to micro on a lot of fronts here. I do let that queen die. What do we have going on here? Idling some drones. Good play there. Oh, and I have just killed so many probes here. We look at the probe count. Let's go to the units tab here. He's at 7 to my 32. So this is really the game-winning moment for me if it wasn't back when I diffused his cheese here. And he's continuing to produce void rays. He's just kind of being annoying. We've all played this game where it's very hard to break a turtling player. You can't just simply bust this down. He does have defenses up at every facet. He's throwing down an expansion here, which is really smart, actually. I mean, for how horrible of a cheeser he is, this is very smart. He needs to get some kind of advantage on me here, and I am sending out more Zerglings. I don't know about these cannons. Oh, and they're just getting blown up by these cannons. Micro them back. Here we go. Let's look at the production tab. I do have a bunch of queens now. I just want to have this mobile queen army, and he's frying my hatchery down here, sending my queens down. Shouldn't be an issue. Get out of there, queen. Here comes the queen army, and they are such an effective unit. Queens are so underrated as just a combative or a defensive unit, rather, and I am planting a million spores because at this point I considered, you know, maybe just advancing on him with a bunch of queens, because queens will bust down these defenses pretty well. That's going to be a lot of creep, and I've mentioned this before in my commentaries, but the more spore crawl, oh my god, the more creep tumors you have here, the faster that creep starts. Look at that, it just dropped, and it's at its max creep level right here. Production tab, he's making ground level weapons. I don't even understand what that's about. He doesn't even have a gateway. Like, what are you doing, guy? And I haven't scouted this expansion foolishly. I have a bunch of queens. I'm in a great position, throwing down an auxiliary hatchery. Let's look at the... I am on the production tab. I am a bit side-blocked here, but I just hatched a bunch of overlords, and I guess I'm making a bunch more. Kind of getting into a false sense of security here. I'm just like, whatever, you know, I'm going to go to 116 supply from 66. I don't care. So I do have a spire down here, and mining a little bit heavy on there. I need to build some drones down here. Spreading that creep out. Look at that creep spread. And, you know, I'm just trying to go mass queens at this point. I'm busting out a queen there. Let's see if I got a queen coming out here. What's happening? Yep, I have Overlord speed coming up, producing some mutas here. I do want to just oh, okay, so I have spotted this base down here, and these lings are just gone. And these cannons are going to make it tough for my ground forces. He hasn't put any cannons back here, so these mutas will be very effective. And I do have a fat party of mutas coming out here. Queen's ready to defend this double hatchery down here. Just producing mutas and queens at this point for the most part, with a cloud of overlords here. And these mutas are circling back here, and I'm going to try to take out this base here, because I did see that his cannon placement was a little bit wonky. Kind of like this entire player style, a bit wonky, but it is so hard to recover from cheese if you get properly cheesed, and deal with all these cannons. So we are going to micro that back. There you go, TinkerJoe. Dealing with these void rays, no problem, not even losing a Mutalist, taking out all these probes, and I should be able to just blast this Nexus down. He is throwing down another cannon there, and I just don't really care about this base anymore. I don't want to deal with all these cannons. I'm going to try to just seal the victory by taking out all of his probes here. He's producing Phoenixes in response to my mutas, and if he had any sort of real economy, that would be a real threat. But speaking of his economy, there it all goes. Let's look at the units tab here. 7 probes and dropping 5 probes, 4 probes, 3 probes. Taking out this photon cannon, and this has got to be GG. I've kind of given up on this crazy creep spread. I do have a squillion queens here. That would have been really cool to just destroy him with queens. I kind of wish I did that. GG. Not really, so I him. Alright, thanks for tuning in to another TinkerJoe broadcast. Have a good one.